we are gathered here today to talk about an RV. Okay. But,
righteous vehicle.
Righteous vehicle. But originally, firstly, can you talk to me about where you were sleeping, where you were laying your head at night previous?
I was sleeping on the ground. Originally, I had just my bike with a bike trailer and a huge tarp that I had purchased to cover me as a tent, a pseudo tent. So I was laying on the ground on tarps and in a sleeping bag, wherever I could find a place to lay down that seemed safe. To me, it was as if the angel of the Lord was saying, lay here, you're going to be safe here tonight. And there are many spots like that I can still recall I can go to right now and lay down and be safe. But it's kind of a scary world to be outside all the time and to lay your head down on the ground at night and not really know what might happen when you're asleep.
And then you had introduced into your life a beautiful woman.
Yes, in April I met my wife, Lisa, and I realized very shortly that my situation wasn't going to be comfortable for the two of us or for her. So we started to pray, and shortly after that we received a tent, and it seemed like Hotel Shangri-La, having a tent and being able to be indoors, sort of. Nylon walls, but I mean, it added a modicum of security and comfort to our lives, and we also had an air mattress, so
that's big.
Talking bed and tent, I enjoyed those days, and it wasn't too long ago. But we thought that this is it. We got a tent. We're all right. And then after that, we started praying for bigger things, because eventually we wanted to go out into the world a little further than our 4-mile square radius here in Orange and touch the lives like we've been touched.
Well, did you in your prayers, did you specifically request of the Lord an RV? Is that what that looked like to you?
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted an RV. I had friends with their families had RVs, and we went camping, and I always dreamed of having my own RV. Possibly not to live in, but to tour in, because I wanted to go around and sing at churches and share the gospel that way. And it's just such a neat vehicle, all self-contained, And so yes, originally my wife prayed for an RV, and I said, if you want an RV, the Lord's going to give you an RV. And we both prayed for it, and He gave us an RV.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you recall how the initial discussion between you and I originated?
I do. We were at Mary's. It was a Saturday. I had come to you and said something to the effect that, Scott, do you know anybody who wants to give away an RV to a homeless couple? And you said to me, I'll get to work on that. I'm not sure if I know anybody who has one now, but I'll get to work on that. And I thought, okay, the seed's been planted. I'm going to trust the Lord. And I trusted you as a brother to actually do some kind of work on it. Whether it was praying about it or asking around, I didn't know. But I wasn't going to doubt.
Did you feel compelled in some manner to do the footwork, or do sometimes you pray and then I'm just, my job's done, I've prayed, I've made this petition, but now my work's done? Or do you get a feeling that there's some leg work, some footwork you need to do?
There's always work on my part, beyond prayer and beyond belief. I guess that's started when my stepfather told me to go out and hit the bricks and get a job, and keep hitting the bricks until I found a job. And I've always had kind of a researcher mentality. I've even done some research for companies I've worked for. So digging and researching and finding out what's out there and doing that type of legwork, that is up my alley anyway. And I felt like that I have to get out there and find this RV, so to speak, because I didn't think it was just going to drop in my lap. Although I had told my wife, we don't need to go out and earn money specifically for this RV. I have the feeling that it is just going to be handed to us. But we need to figure out what type of RV we need that would be best suited for what we're going to do with it.
Did you get specific direction to speak to me or approach us as JoySquared? Why did you approach me?
I've always felt since day one that you and Dan and your crew were the brethren. And we're taught in scriptures to seek out the brethren, to encourage and edify the brethren, in some cases to supply the brethren. But I believed that you two, I believe the Father was telling me that the two of you and the organization JoySquared was my key in some way to reaching some goals and getting some desires. My desires are his desires. I don't desire a fancy sports car or some money or anything like that. I just want a way to spread the gospel in the vision I believe he's given me all these years. And I believe that he was telling me you guys were going to play a huge part in that.
Did you have any idea that you could purchase a RV for $2,900?
I had no idea.
Did you have any idea what the price range would be?
I did a few years ago. I was living with my sister, and she's disabled, and I was supporting her. We were roommates, and we were looking into getting an RV back then. What we were looking at was starting out at $9-10 grand and going on up to 40 to 60 grand, for something that would be comfortable and we could tour around the country and do some Christian things, churches and stadiums and whatever. So I always believed that it was way out of reach for me.
Now, I asked you earlier, the question is the RV been a blessing as opposed to a curse? Has it tied you down, or has it provided goodness?
It's done a lot of things for us. It's actually put us on a new road of, and I don't want to get the wrong idea, but it's temptations and trials will always be with us, and testing from our own lusts and desires. And when we got in the RV, we were really overjoyed because everything pretty much works and it's been taken care of, and it's a vintage 83 RV, so it's odd to find one that's been taken care of that well, and this one has. But there are little things that come up that you have to, now we have to concentrate on taking care of this RV and making sure that it's always running so that we can do what we want. So, there've been trials with the RV, but small ones, because we got the RV. So if the Father loves us that much to provide this vehicle for our family, and my wife's got a son who's living with us too, so it's perfect for all three of us, then we know that he's going to see us through every little trial, every little temptation, if we just remain in faith. So it's been a faith builder, and every time I walk up on it, I'm just amazed that I'm driving this big truck with a house on it.
Is it scary to drive?
No, not for me. Since I was young, I always wanted to drive a big bus or a big truck, and so it's exciting.
Now our blessing, our collective blessing at JoySquared has been that people that we love are indoors.
Mm.
You know, the idea that you're not in a tent or you're not under a tarp, that Lisa is not out and about in those conditions.
Right.
From people that are housed, that's a hard thing to consider.
Yeah.
So that is our blessing. How are you guys blessed by it?
We feel safe, we feel comfortable, we feel secure. It's warm. It was manufactured in Colorado, so it's insulated real well. We always have a way to make coffee in the morning. I mean, and these little amenities we tried to do in the tent. We had coffee in the tent. Mind you, we had to go somewhere and get hot water and come back and things like that. But with Squeaky, that's what we call her, it's just like having a home. And anywhere we go, we have that home. It's kind of bittersweet, though, because we look at the people that we've come to know over the last year still out on the streets and still cold and still suffering. And we just wish we could give them all RVs, you know.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A holy man.
Well, I would claim that you are already righteous, as righteous as you can become. So you have to answer the question in a different manner.
What I really want, what I've always wanted, is to be a vehicle, to be a way of life for people that I have a heart for. And that, this year and for the past several years, has been the homeless, anywhere. But more importantly, here in my home county. I've met homeless people across the states, and it's always the same situation. And they're always just happy to have someone smile, share a good word, or share a coffee or a muffin. You know, just anything small like that lifts their spirits so high that it blows me away. And what I could really accomplish for the Lord in their lives by supplying them and edifying them and encouraging them, and that's a driving force right now to get out and I want to sing to them and I want to heal them.
You encourage us. Do you understand that? How you go about your business? Do you consider yourself homeless? When you speak of homeless people, do you consider yourself homeless?
No, I'm very much at home in the kingdom, and I think a lot of us out here are, but we're labeled as homeless because we don't have a structure. But it's kind of a misnomer, really. I think we're just directionless, a lot of us, you know, and loveless.
Love might be the key, huh? Might be the secret.
It definitely is.
I think it's the secret to healing. Yes. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And for, you know, someone might watch this little modest video and, you know, and they might not know Jesus. And, you know, we're not to shove Jesus down your throat kind of guys. I'm not. Our group tends not to be. But that relationship has certainly been important to both of us, wouldn't you say?
It has. It's everything to me. I want to be an example, first of all. I want to show people how it's done. How love and faith can mold and build a life that's useful in the Lord's hands. Before I even speak a word, I just want to love on them, because I've found that the more love I give, the more I get back. And it doesn't matter who I'm giving it to, whether it's the worst criminal that just got out and ends up at the kitchen, or someone who's got who's grounded already in the faith, but is just a little disappointed or lost their way for the moment. Doesn't matter who it is. The love, it always brings you together and eye to eye.
Does doing somebody's laundry at the kitchen bless your heart?
Every time. Yeah, every time. It's the basic of need. It's the the basest of needs. Doing someone's laundry, but when you give them hope that it's going to be clean and done, and they don't have to worry about, coughing up money for it or buying soap, or it's a small thing. But I think if I remain humble in my attitude and give them love, it goes a long way.
I mean, we could even consider it like a type or a picture of Jesus loving us. I mean, his love, our belief, provides this cleansing of us. I have one more question. What would you say to somebody that would look at this, once again, modest video and was considering whether or not they were to support what we're doing at JoySquared? Do you think we're impactful, or do you think what we're doing is good and correct? What would you say to that?
I think what JoySquared does for people in need, especially those who believe and those who are on the edge of believing, let's say, like the Bible puts it, is very impactful. And it's gonna create a legacy that lasts until he comes. And I think anyone who's thinking about supporting this organization and these brethren, these people, I feel like I want to support JoySquared in any way I can.
You do?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, with my whole heart.
We love you, and you're a good man. And the circle you walk in is a powerful one. Okay? So we continue to be here for you. And that's our purpose.
I praise God for you, Scott. You and JoySquared.
You're a good man.
Thank you.